Welcome to another episode of Boating Radio Waves. Today is dinghy day. I've got to get the dinghy ready, put out on the water, and give it a test run for the season. Obviously, I'm new to this, so a dinghy to me in the water is the first time I've ever taken a dinghy out on my own, so it should be a lot of fun. I bought this dinghy back in, I want to say November. I bought it on Facebook Marketplace, and when I bought it, it had holes in it. In fact, when I bought it, the person gave me an extra dinghy, so I've got another dinghy if you're interested in one. It has holes in it too, and I can show you kind of what I've done to fix that. After that, it came with the troll motor. The troll motor has a bad switch in it, so today we're going to replace the switch in it. I put the mount onto the dinghy to mount the troll motor on there, and I bought a battery today, so I'll kind of go through some of those things as we go through the video. So here you have it. Okay, let's talk about power. So this dinghy is a Minn Kota Endura is the brand. It's an Endura it's a 3-speed forward, 3-speed reverse, and it has just a little positive negative terminal like any other troll motor does, but it doesn't require a lot of power. So one of the things to think about with an inflatable dinghy like I have the Intex 5-person dinghy, and the challenge with that is you've got to get the battery in and out of this thing. So I went with a smaller battery. Normally you want to go with like a 55 amp hour battery, but I decided to go with the 35. I got this at Batteries Plus, and we're going to see how that works out. I tried to use other batteries. The first thing I saw was some things online where people were using like a jump box. So I have like this jump box here that has little terminals on it. And this is something that, you know, will start a car. It would start a lawnmower. I've used it to start a lawnmower before. So I'd seen guys do this, and I'm in my novice world of not knowing a whole lot about batteries. There are two types of batteries. There are batteries that they're deep cycle batteries that you can charge, and then there are batteries used for starting. So when I first got this dinghy, I wanted to make sure the motor worked, so I used my lawnmower battery. But the lawnmower battery is not designed to be charged and that sort of thing like this. So I've gone with this battery. This battery was $109 at Batteries Plus. So I'm going to put this battery onto the trolling motor, and then we're going to see it work. Okay, so we've got the troll motor here. We've got it hooked up to the battery, and we're just going to kind of give it a test run here. So you can see down here that the propeller is turning, or everything is working. The prop is turning, not the propeller. I have a hard time getting that to show in this video. But anyway, it is turning, so we know that the motor works. Now, this switch is bad, so my next thing is going to be to take these screws out, and I'm going to replace the switch. The process of taking this switch off is fairly easy. I'm just going to be taking these screws out. There's some screws here on both sides of this. There's some screws here on this housing. And then we're going to get inside to where we're going to work on this switch. Now that the screws are out, you can see the switch here. This is the switch that I want to take out. So the important thing is to kind of memorize what order these wires are in. If you just take this out, you're going to hate life because you didn't do that. So what I normally do is take a picture, and then I can go back and reference that. So we'll do that. Now what I like to do, since we've got this here, I like to take the same switch. I'll kind of position them the same way. And then what I'll do is when I remove the first wire here, I'll immediately attach it to the new switch. Years ago, I made a bad mistake on an old Camaro that was my girlfriend's at the time. And I was trying to do something good. I was trying to replace the spark plugs on it. And I decided that I'd just take off all the wires and put the new wires on. Well, for some of you guys who may know a little bit about cars, if you mess up the firing order on a car, then it could take you a while to get the firing order right. If you take a wire off one at a time, like what I'm doing here, then we know the firing order. We don't have to find out what the firing order is. And so it's always good whenever you can do this to just take the wires off individually and then put them where they go, so that way I don't have to look at the manual. So just about got it here. It's my last wire. And this is the old switch. It's all old. So got the new switch here. And it is going to fit back inside here. And then this is the actual lever that goes on there. So we'll match this up. So that way whenever we put the whole harness back together, everything will work. Now I'm just replacing the screws. A couple of these screws are really long. They go way up in there. These particular guys do. So put this back where it goes. And I'm going to do this job, and we'll talk about something else. You got to love it when a plan comes together. So before, this trolling motor only had one speed in reverse. Now I've got 1, 2, 3 speeds in reverse, and I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 speeds forward. And all that was wrong with it was that little switch. It's amazing how something like this little switch right here, can cause something like that trolling motor not to work. It's just like what happened the last time I worked on the boat with the blower motor. It wasn't the motor itself that was bad, it was the switch. A lot of people would have probably thrown this motor away, thought maybe it wouldn't be worth anything. But it always is good to check. So circling back to the dinghy in general that I bought on Facebook Marketplace. I bought it, I knew there was problems with it, and I felt like I could fix it. If not, it wasn't a whole lot of money. I don't even think I spent $100 on everything. I think I think it was like $50 or something like that. But for $50, I got a trolling motor and a dinghy that had holes in it. So I had to buy a battery, and I had to buy this motor mount kit. This fits on the back of it. This is what holds the actual trolling motor onto the dinghy. Otherwise, you use the paddles, and I will tell you this, there are going to be paddles on that dinghy because you never know when you're out there and something may happen and the motor may fail or the switch may go bad again. It's good to have extra backup, so always carry your paddles with you when you're going out on a dinghy ride. So next I want to show you some of the holes that I've been able to fix in the dinghy, and we're going to test that, and then we're going to put it in the water. So I bought a patch kit for this, and what's unfortunate about this particular spot is that it's in a crease, and I've been having a hard time getting this to take on this thing. This dinghy has 3 different stages. It has the first stage, which is the floor of the dinghy. Then it has an outer stage, which is another part of it that inflates. And then it has the full-on, outside liner. So if you were to ever puncture this, you would have to puncture it 3 times in order for it totally to sink. So I think I may have a leak here in this first part. I'm going to check this and we'll see if it's leaking air. I have to do that by listening to it. Do you hear that? You see that? That's a new hole that's just come up. So I'm going to have to patch this hole. It wasn't from one of the other holes that was there before. And that's the problem with these types of inflatable items. You're going to always need to have some sort of patch kit that you can put with you. Once we seal this hole up, should hold air, we should be good to go. So I got this patch kit from West Marine. Have these little alcohol pads. You just kind of clean around that, get all the dirt away from there. And then I've got this patch kit here that comes from this. And this is made for like pools and all kinds of things like that. So we'll let that dry for a second, then I'm going to put the patch on there. Then we should be good to go. So I put the patch on there now. Just kind of rubbing it in. Still got air in there, but air is not leaking out. And it's going to do a good job. It's made for this. And I've had them on several places on this dinghy. And I think the biggest thing that causes these holes are the fact that I've been dragging it around on this concrete. So I think once I actually get the boat to the dinghy to the water and on the boat, I think the likelihood of me puncturing this off, just dragging it across the concrete, that's going to be a big hazard that's gone. But as you can see here, it's pretty sealed up. So I think we're ready to go. So I figured I'd show you kind of what my getup is. So I've got a Christmas tree bag, which is what somebody recommended I saw for these dinghies. It's a lot bigger than the case that it comes in, I think. So it's an excellent way of transporting it. I've got a little bag here that I put my pump in, I put my water shoes in. I keep that for the tools that deflate it. This pump I have is an Outdoor Master pump. What's cool about it is you can pump it up with this side and you can deflate it with this side. So, and it plugs into a cigarette lighter. So it'll work from the car or from the boat. So it's a great pump for pumping this up. It takes a minute to pump up the 3 chambers, but all in all, I think we're good to go with the dinghy. I've got the mount, I've got the trolling motor, so it's going to be a perfect dinghy day. So there you have it. We have a dinghy, we have a motor that works, a battery that works, we have holes patched, it inflates, it's got a bag, we're good to go. So I'm going to go get on the water, and I hope you do the same. So continue boating. Radio Waves out.